Your
Blue Note Hockey Fan Report on a Wednesday afternoon in Hawaii. Hello, hello, how are you? Welcome to the show that is all about the fans. Yes, we are. And we're talking some hockey today. Currently, there are two games going. The Washington Capitals are up 3-1 and in a tied series. They could be going back to Florida, to the President's Trophy winning Florida Panthers with a chance to eliminate them in the first round. Wow. That's shocking. And then the Rangers, who were facing elimination, were down 2-0, scored three quick goals. But Pittsburgh was able to get one back, and they now are tied. At least they were the last time I looked. I have to double check. They are tied 3-3 with 19-12 left in the third. Rangers trying to stave off elimination there. We'll talk a little bit about them. We'll talk about what you want to talk about. That's what the show's all about, who you are, what we are, and what we do. If you're watching on Facebook, please don't forget to put that thumb in the air. Let us know that you appreciate what we do and say hello. Eve's here. He gets here a half hour before I even think about doing the show. So we appreciate Eve so much. He does so much for us. Caps Panthers are in Florida tonight. Yes, that's right. So I'm wrong. Thank you. That would be the game going back to now it's 3-2. What a beautiful goal. Oh, beautiful breakaway. No chance, man. That was just amazing. Oh man, Shigerskin had no chance. Hornquist just nailed it, man. He had no chance. No chance. Wow, what a beautiful goal. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful goal. Okay, so let's talk about some hockey. What are you guys on? What's on your guys' mind today? Yesterday's game. Wow, I don't think I've come down from it yet. One of the things about yesterday's game that really stood out to me, something that just stood out to me completely, was Tarasenko, right? We have a guest. And the guest is Matty C from Matty C Sports for you and me. Hey, Matt, how are you doing, my friend?
Good, Mr. Guy. How are you?
I am good. Now I got to bring this up. I see this is one of those comments that, and don't get pissed at me, but when I see a comment like this, I wonder, do you really understand what's going on in the game? To say Vladdy needed to step up, Vladdy didn't need to step up. Vladdy has played an amazing series, only he hadn't gotten on the scoreboard. So since he's not on the scoreboard, everyone thinks that Vladdy's not playing very well. And it's the exact opposite. I saw something in the second period of the game yesterday, and I don't know if Matt watched it or not, but in the second period, Vladdy was coming down the left-hand side with Buchnevich in the center, and I think it might have been Thomas at the time. I don't know if Barbashev had been switched up yet. Either Thomas or Barbashev on the far left, and he goes to pass to Buchnevich, and Buchnevich is playing defense, right? He's not there. Buchnevich gets knocked off the puck, and Vladdy just turned, and the look on his face, it just, to me, I had said it. I had said that this was his time. He was going to take this game over, and Jason Nichols says at the time, it's time for the Tarasenko show, and that's exactly what it was. Guys, you need to understand there's something about Tarasenko now.
Let me tell you, Guy, one thing. Just one thing. Vladdy never, ever has to step it up because he's consistently on a level basis with the St. Louis Blues. I have never seen him have a really terrible season. I'm sorry. You cannot
Other than
say
injuries.
yeah, but you can't help injuries.
Right.
Unless
Yeah,
you're
no.
like, well, I'm going to take a puck to the face just because I want to get injured or something. It's not possible. It's not possible.
Bortuzzo did that.
But
Bortuzzo decided to block one with his face. Oh man,
but
he had a, no. Everyone wants Vladimir Tarasenko to score 3 goals every single game, and if he
now,
doesn't, he's not stepping up. He's not doing his job. Tarasenko's job is not just to score goals. He is a leader on that team. He is a two-way forward. He has transformed into a two-way forward. He plays, and look, okay, you can look at his plus minus and go, it's not great. He's -3 in the series. That's okay. He's been playing against their top line. But then again, he turns it around yesterday, and scores. I'm sorry. I just don't think that Vladdy has been the issue in this series at all. Lance?
I like to call it the Blues fans' Russian scapegoat syndrome. For some reason, not just Blues fans, but a lot of fans in the NHL see a Russian play and they expect him to be, Kovalchuk or they expect him to score a goal every time he touches the puck. And, this fan base always finds a scapegoat. It can't be the fact that the other team was just better, or that the Blues had an off night, or that a player had an off night, or that he played well and it just didn't show up on the stat sheet. There's so many different things that happen in a game. So many things lead to a goal. So many things can make a goal not happen, and a lot of the fans aren't educated enough to know the difference. He's played.
Be careful about saying they're not educated enough. There's a difference, okay? It's not that they're not educated enough. It's that a lot of fans only look at the surface of the game. They only see the surface. They don't see the things that happen underneath. And Vladdy and Braden, please don't be upset with me. I don't know you. I don't know what your novel knowledge is, but to me, in my opinion, and that's what this is. This is my opinion now. Yours was that Vladimir needed to step up. My opinion was he'd already stepped up. He's doing a lot more than he was ever expected to do, and he doesn't get any credit for it. In the surface, okay, he doesn't score a goal, but that doesn't mean he's not playing a great game. And I'll tell you what, you go back and you look at those 3 goals, and Panthers just tied it up. Wow. Man, I speak and it reverses. I had just typed Rangers facing elimination and they tied that game up. All right, actually, they went up 3-2 and then it was tied back up. Man, I just went. What do you call it? Spacey again.
Can I say something real quick?
The first goal, right? A lot of people give credit to Bushnevich for getting that puck behind the net. Do you realize that it was Tarasenko that sent him behind the net because he was kind of guiding him back that way on that pass? Right? The second goal, that was, Tarasenko is running that when he's on the ice, he's running it out there. I hope you guys see it. That's the way I do. I don't think he's the best coach. I think, okay, he has transformed himself this season. I will admit that. He has transformed himself. He needed to get the best out of his players, and that's what he's doing this season. He's getting some of the best out of his players. Yeah, Tarasenko, and that's what I've been talking about. Tammy, since you've been watching this show, I know you came in this season, right? You know that I have been absolutely pagan on Tarasenko's defense and physical play. Pagan on it almost every single night. Every time people get on him, I turn around and I say, look at this, look at that, look at this. So I'm with that. I'm with that. Bob, you're welcome to joke around, do whatever you want. Whatever you put in there, your opinion.
Oh,
we
this
love
guy.
It. Say again.
Oh, that guy.
Oh yeah, Bob's always going to be fun.
Bob.
Yeah, Bob Morton's always going to have some fun, man. He's a good one. And Tammy's saying, yes, I have, and I've been saying that, and I hope that I didn't force someone, a fan away, but I just gotta when I see surface comments, I gotta call them out, right? Surface comment yesterday, first period, Pareko's having a bad game. He's not doing anything. Well, maybe that's what you saw in the first period, but in the second and the third, I saw a defenseman absolutely clear the puck, get sticks in the lanes, use his body, do the things that he needed to do to set other people up. Yesterday's game changed on a fluke, and I'll take that fluke every day of the week. Every day of the week, right? 2-1, second period, Blues are not getting anything. A shot goes over. Saad is right in front of the net. I don't know if it hit his stick or his leg or whatever it was, but it hits him and deflects into the net. Happens all the time. That deflection took the wind out of the Wild instantly. You could see it. You could see it on the bench. You could see it in their faces. You could see it in their play until from that goal to about the last minute of that period. They got a little bit of a jump in that last minute. But other than that, they look deflected. And then Tarasenko comes out and just flat out took the game over. Here you go, Maddie. This is for you. Right? Where is that? That series is that series. Boston's facing elimination tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Right? They're facing elimination tomorrow. To Carolina.
They are ugly.
Yeah.
They're just ugly. And so is Carolina. Way too many penalties. And Rob, to bring up your point, he's fighting with that kid from Carolina, and he's saying he was a racist and all that stuff. So just stuff to get him off his game. Well, he didn't get him off his game.
Isn't he a white kid from Canada? Isn't
game.
Marchand a white kid from Canada?
Yes.
I don't think he's a First Nation kid, is he?
No, I was talking for Carolina. I don't know his name. Marchand called the kid this, and he got up and all that. The series is looking like crap. It's just not a series you want to watch. Just a shitload of penalties, and just not that gritty. And Carolina's talking about it. They've won 2 games with 5 games. How are you going to content with that?
Yeah, no, I didn't hear most of what you said. My internet kind of went on the freak a little bit, so you were in and out to me. I think hopefully everybody else heard what you said. I didn't though. Alex Kennedy, what are we talking? We're talking about whatever you want to talk about. We're talking about yesterday's game. We're talking about who is it? Carolina being up 3-2 on Boston, and our favorite Boston Rat
team in
with Matty C and Lance Scott from the Drop.
I think Maddie's talking about the remarks that Marchand made to Sebastian Aho, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. So
it wasn't Sebastian Aho. It was some scrub player. He was. I forget his name. I'd have to look it up. I don't have a computer on me.
Yeah, but the thing, what I thought it was that Marchand said that he said racist remarks, not that Marchand said racist remarks. Correct?
Marchand racist remarks. It was who else? He had been up and said he was a racist. Chirping with Marchand, and so he's trying under the luck in the net, and I don't see the Bruins winning. I thought they would if they played Carolina. You've been right on this one.
Yeah, I didn't hear what you said. I didn't hear what you said again. You were in and out on me. Yeah, well, it's glitching on everybody, Alex. It's not just you, my friend. It's everybody there. Um, from what I understood, Marchand said that the other player said something racist. My issue isn't Marchand? I mean, isn't he a white guy from Canada? I mean, he might be French Canadian, but
Doesn't matter. You can still say something racist.
it's kind of hard
It was
for.
the opposing
Come on,
player.
guys. Let's not do this stuff that black people or Chinese people or Indian people can't be racist. They can be
Oh,
racist.
they can, but you're a white guy to a white guy, right? And that's I don't know. I don't.
Yeah,
That's why I didn't want to get into it. That's why I didn't want to get into it.
I don't think that Marchand's First Nation or anything like that, and he's not. He's French Canadians from what I understand.
Yeah.
Just like me, I'm French but not Canadian. But it's that kind of stuff doesn't belong in the game, whether it's said to one person or said to another.
That is a true statement.
It
That is
doesn't
a
belong in
absolute
the
true
game.
statement. But my point is, first of all, Marchand saying that someone else is saying something racist, it falls on deaf ears,
Well, yeah,
right? Marchand it absolutely falls on Marchand. Marchand, from what I understood, Marchand said it was said to him, right? And that's what I don't understand completely. Here's a good topic: the late start. Tomorrow's start is officially 9:30, but I've heard puck drop's probably going to be 8:30, going to be 8:50.
it's gonna be it's
Right?
gonna be it's gonna be 8:45 to 8:50.
Yeah, they're going to let the other third period play out before they start it. Right?
Maddie, to me, the main reason you're losing this series is your defense and your goaltending, but I think it's mainly your goaltending.
Oh, the goaltending sucks.
It's terrible.
And just so you guys know, I will be with the man from Untold, with the guys from the Danbury Trashers, their main enforcer. He'll be here in Massachusetts on Friday. I'm going to meet up with him.
Cool.
So I'll try to talk to him. We'll get him set up to join the show.
Yeah, sounds good, man. Sounds good. Anytime. Right? We'll take anybody that wants to come on and talk hockey.
Watch that documentary, Crimes and Penalties, and you'll see.
I have not seen it.
You got to see it, guy. You'll know how badass this guy was.
Crimes and Penalties.
Crimes and Penalties. But yeah, Lance, I agree. The goaltending is terrible, and your series with Minnesota is very fast-paced and a well-balanced series. It could go. I see it going either way. It's really good series.
Yep.
There's not that definitive team that's like breaking away like Colorado. I know you love them, guy. I know you love Colorado, but
yeah,
I still think this is going to go 7 games because neither one of these teams has won 2 games in a row. They play really well one game, and the next game they just don't play very well. I still see it going 7 games. I know the Blues really took the wind out of their sails last night, but
that's not a true statement. Both teams have won 2 in a row.
And goddamn, they're fat.
Unless you're talking about the Boston series, but in our series,
no, they haven't, have they?
Yeah, they have. Blues won game 1, Minnesota won games 2 and 3, Blues won games 4 and 5.
That's right. I thought it was back and forth. That's right.
Yep.
I still see it going 7.
Say again?
Oh, you talking to me?
No, I'm lost.
I'm just saying, I mean, goddamn how fast Minnesota is. Those little guys are fast as can be. But your Blues are physical dudes, so they're not afraid of those little guys.
They wore him down. They absolutely wore him down in the hey, Jason Nichols, I need you to go click on the thing for me so your name can be seen. I think you know how to do it. You've done it before, right? And say we win in 6. I actually think we win in 6. I do. The reason I think we win in 6 is we are the Penguins to the Capitals. We are the first round of Toronto. We are the Blackhawks to us, to the Blues. We are that is what the Blues are to Minnesota, right? They're that team that they have to get over, right? And I know this is only the third time that we've played each other in the playoffs, but in recent years, Minnesota just has not had enough to get past the Blues. They haven't been able to beat them in any regular thing, you know. They've won, what is it, like 3 games against the Blues, and 2 of them are in these playoffs, right? In the last 3 years, going back to 19. So this is, for me, I don't think Minnesota has enough to get past the Blues tomorrow.
You're underestimating the power of Fleury, guy. I mean, this guy has so much playoff experience, it's ridiculous, and he can still be a really good goaltender. He is the 2 Bruins goalies right now. That's how good he is.
Okay.
So I mean,
here's the thing.
I see it a Game 7. That's all I'm saying.
Here's the thing. I don't think it matters tomorrow, right? Because the Blues are going to get the puck in deep. They're going to here. You know what? That 3rd goal was Fleury's fault for not playing the puck. He doesn't play the puck. He's not. I mean, he did earlier in his career, but later in his career, he does not go back there and play the puck. If he's not going to go back there and play the puck, you're going to get that same type of goal again. You're going to get bodies in front of him as they wear down. That's what happened. And not only that, the Blues scored first in that game. They got on the board first on a power play goal, right? Now, Minnesota was able to get 2 more back, but after that, you know, the Blues have done a very good job of getting bodies in front of him, and as soon as you get that deflection, Minnesota crumbles, right? I don't think Fleury couldn't save Chicago. I don't think he's saving Minnesota.
Different team with different players.
True. Jason, hold on, Lance. On that post that you're commenting from, go up top, look at it. You know where I post all my stuff, and if it says see more, click on that. It'll say I'm using StreamYard. Please click here so I can see your name. You click there, and then you're good to go. Then you come back and you're good to go. Right? Go ahead, Lance.
Without Fleury, I don't think Chicago wins 15 games this year. I mean, that's to me.
True statement.
And the games that the Blues have won, Guy is right on with the fact they've got people in front of Fleury and they've deflected pucks. They've made his field of vision, or his field of view, really hard to see the puck coming at him, and that's what you have to do to a good goaltender. And the games the Blues haven't won, the 2 games they haven't won, they've not done that. They've not been able to move that puck in. Minnesota's kept them back by the blue line, and that's why I think it's going to be an up and down thing. I want the Blues to win tomorrow. Can they win tomorrow? Heck yeah, they can. But I still see it as a 7-game series, and it's nothing against the Blues. The Blues are playing, in my mind, in the last 2 games, they've played better than Minnesota. But you know, it's like Maddie says. Big time goalies, because we've seen it with Bennington. Bennington steps in and does a great job. Big time goalies, when your back's against the wall, do a good job. Now, could Fleury lay an egg? Could this be one of those times where you go, maybe it's time for Fleury to retire? Yeah, it could. It really could. But I just don't know what team's going to show up. Is it going to be the Blues team that pounded the front of the net and, you know, wasn't the heavy team they were against Boston that year in the Stanley Cup, but they were hitting people when they should have hit them and not gone out of their way to hit them.
Yeah, that's what they did. Yeah. That is exactly what they did. And here's the thing. You mentioned it a little bit. I think Benner's outplayed Fleury in this series in the 3 games, 2 games that he's been in. Right? He's absolutely outplayed Fleury. He's allowed 4 goals total, 2.0 goals against average. He's got like a .940 save percentage, right? He has made The difference in this, here's the difference. And everyone who wants Husso or thought Husso was the guy, the one thing that Husso is not better than Bennington at, the one major thing, and this is huge, right? This is huge. The one major thing is Bennington can stop a breakaway. Husso can't. They have not gotten a breakaway goal since Bennington's been back. They got a bunch of them when Husso was in, and everyone was like, "Oh, it's a breakaway, or it's an odd man rush." Well, you know what? Bennington is stopping those, right? Well, thank you, AJ. I think this is the first time I've seen you, but I appreciate you coming on. Thanks so much for letting us know that you appreciate the show. We appreciate that. Don't forget to put those thumbs up on Facebook and let us know.
Here's my thing, guy, is there's two things. One, if Minnesota wants to win the series, they need to use that speed that they've been successful with those young lines. Not a lot of veterans like other teams, but they've been doing well. Now, what I agree with Lance, they need to be physical in front of the net because they can do it. They're tougher. They're built a bit better than Minnesota, and be physical hitting wise. Obviously, throw some guys into the boards, but mainly they're guys who can pick up the garbage and bang it home. So St. Louis does that, they're good in this series.
No, again, for me, I think it comes down to the two goaltenders. It really does, and I think, Lance, do you think that Fleury has outplayed Bennington in the last two games?
No.
Right?
And I will say that.
Well, whatever you did, it works now. So you did it right, Jason.
I will say that Minnesota's had its opportunities in these last couple of games to come back against the Blues, but when they do it, Bennington's been a brick wall. I mean, there's been several defensive lapses, and I really hope the Blues don't do that in Game 6, because Bennington may still save him. He may do that because he's just been really awesome since he came in, and I'm hoping people realize I don't hate Ville Husso, but maybe people are seeing now why I wanted Jordan Bennington to start this series.
No, it was to me. It was obvious. On the surface, everyone was like, "Oh, Bennington's faced inferior opponents, and Husso's played, the better opponents, and this and that and the other thing." And then they go and they talk about the last two games of the season against Colorado and against Nashville. I felt Bennington played better against Colorado than Husso did against Nashville.
Yeah, and
I really did.
What people don't understand is they look at those last two games. But the last 5 regular season games, in 5 games, Husso allowed almost 4 goals a game and 19 goals. And Bennington's last 5 games, he allowed 15 goals in 5 games. So Bennington was much better in the last 5, and I'd be willing to bet you if you went to the last 10, it would still be pretty close. That's why you've got a guy with experience. You've got a guy with experience in Bennington. And I know people say, well, he's lost 9. It wasn't all his fault, the reason they've lost in the playoffs. This team didn't come prepared in the last 2 playoffs, and they weren't the same team like you said.
Well, here it is this season. Everyone, last season they had the injuries, but it was Bennington's fault. This season, we have the injuries, so it's not Husso's fault, right? No, I told you, I saw this with Husso, and it, to me, once March and April, his numbers just started doing this. Right. And the league figured him out. Yeah. And they figured him out rather quickly. Right. What did he play? I think he played 30 games last season and maybe 30 games this season. I don't know. He didn't even play 30 games last season. He played maybe 20.
I think he played 36 games this season, if I'm not
36 games. Within 50 games, within a little over half the season, they figured him out. It took them a season and a half to start figuring Bennington out. right? And that's not counting the playoffs because they got him a little figured out in the playoffs, but they didn't get him figured out in the regular season until the bubble. And then I think COVID took
sorry, go ahead.
took a hit on him. Go ahead, Maddie.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Huso played in 40 games and started 38 games
this season, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think last season he played like 20, so within 60 games.
And last season he played 17 and started 15.
Yeah, so you're talking less than 60 games,
mm-hmm.
and they've already got him figured out, right? That's something that, because the January and February Huso had outer worldly numbers, like a 1.92 or 1.72.
It was actually 1.59 or 1.69.
Yeah, goals against average with a 960 save percentage, right? And then he goes from that to where he ends up to 3 goals against 3.0 GAA and a 90 save percentage, 909 save percentage. That to me was very telling, right? His numbers still look good because he had that otherworldly, but when that jump there was huge to me, and especially of when it came.
No.
Well, actually, Bob, I disagree with that because they did figure him out in Game 3 because I was there, and neither Bennington nor Allen could stop a beach ball.
I guess it's not. I guess you guys missed what, 3 years it's been.
Yeah,
been hockey since then.
Yeah, but well, I mean, yeah, there's been hockey since then. What I thought was interesting, what I loved about the bubble was, and this is what the bubble took away from us, right? And I think it would have happened. I think if the bubble doesn't happen, we would have seen the 2 Stanley Cup champions win their conferences and repeat. I really do. Right? I know that the Avalanche were at the beginning of were coming up, but I think the Blues are ready for them. I really do. I think that the bubble robbed us from an opportunity of seeing 1v1 and it being a repeat matchup. I really do. Oh, Martin, you gotta love that dude, man. You gotta love him. What are your keys for tomorrow? What are some of your keys for tomorrow? What are some of the things that are that you're looking for tomorrow? I know what I'm kind of looking for. I want to know what some things you're looking for.
I just think the Blues should do exactly what they did in the first game or the last game. Put people in front of Fleury, get closer to the net. Don't let Minnesota box you towards the blue line. Don't bring up your defensemen as much as they did in those couple losses. You remember all the breakaways. Play offensive if you're Letty or if you're Parayko or whoever you are, or if you're Mikkola, whoever. Play offensively, but know when to pinch and know when not to pinch. And I honestly think that those are the keys to the win. I expect Binnington to be just as good as he's been these last 2 games, and I'm not worried about him at all. And even if the Blues were to lose, I'm still not worried about Binnington at all. I think the key to beating Fleury, and if you go back through his career, he's really good when it's a one-and-done shot. But when you start putting 2-3 shots on him at a time and you put people in front of him, just like any goalie, his save percentage is going to go way down. Especially since he's older. If you watch him now and go look at film from before, he's lost a little bit of when he goes down of getting back up, and that's just natural. So I think the Blues need to put a lot of shots on him, put people in front of the net, keep hitting people when it's the right time. Don't hit them when it's not the right time. And to me, that's the key, because that's why they won. Binnington played awesome in the last game, and they put guys in front of the net and they got multiple shots. And I mean, Tarasenko just sniped those goals, and he made Fleury look really, really bad.
Yeah, he did. He took that game over in a way
I
have not. I seen it coming, but I didn't see that coming. Right? I'm telling you, Lance, I watched Tarasenko the majority of his career. I remember the first time I got to see him live was 2014, the Thanksgiving game, the day after Thanksgiving against the Edmonton Oilers, and he scored the overtime goal. And I got to tell you, man, that entire game, I could not take my eyes off him.
Yeah. That's the way in the playoffs. I think it was 2014, 2015 when the Blues played Chicago and they went up 2-0 and lost 4 in a row. I was there.
No, that might have been the next year, I think.
No, 2015 to 20. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 2015.
No, actually, I'm thinking of 18. 18 is what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
18, not 18. No, it was 14.
It wasn't 18.
No, it was 14. Yeah, it was 14.
Yeah. I did, because he was young. He was young, still young back then, and hadn't played with the Blues that long. And I watched him the whole game, and he scored 2 goals that game, and he was the best player out of both teams. You know, just crazy.
He has learned how to be more without giving up who he is. Right? He's a goal scorer. He's a natural goal scorer. That was absolutely obvious yesterday. But at the same time, everyone has said, oh, he got to step up. He's not doing anything, man. He was so solid defensively. He was so solid physically. I mean, he was doing those things. And I still think about the game 4 where he's pointing out to Barbashev that you're not covering your guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, I can't think of Gretzky ever doing that. I don't think Hall ever pointed, at someone and saying, "Hey, you're not covering your guy." I mean, how many goal scorers? Lemieux can't think of Lemieux doing that, right? How many of the great goal scorers can you think of have point? I can think of maybe one. Maybe one. Can I think of possibly doing something like that? And he's on the ice right now, Crosby.
I've seen Lemieux do it. I've seen Lemieux get onto a defenseman for not being where he's supposed to be. It was slight. It wasn't as much pointing out, but I've seen him do it. And Gretzky, every now and again, I'd see him. He would kind of skate over after the play and say something, but he wouldn't at that time point it out. And you know what that shows me? Remember a couple of years ago when I had that clip of Steen when they asked him what he thought about the power play, and and Steen said, "I don't know. I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't on the ice. I don't pay attention when I'm not on the ice."
Not on the ice, yeah.
That's not Tarasenko. If Tarasenko knew where Barbashev was supposed to be and who he was supposed to have, that shows me a guy whose head is in the game completely.
Oh yeah, and this is Jason says you're right, guy. Maybe Berube's angry game helped Tank turn him into a leader who knows whatever is happening is working. You're right. I don't know what turned Tank like this. I don't. I actually got to tell you, I think the media did it. Right? I think the media helped put him in a different light or put him in a different mind. I think he came in this season with the devil may care attitude and just went out and played his game. Right. And I told you, I had a conversation with him, a short conversation while he was at practice. And a couple of the things that he said to me just stood out, and they still stand out. Right. And then I watch him at that practice, and I'm like, man, this guy's ready. And this was the first practice that he'd been at. This was the first one because I'd been to all of them and I hadn't seen him yet. The first time I'd been there and I'd seen him. And he'd been on vacation with his family because I remember seeing the pictures on Instagram of Yana, right? But here he is back here doing what he does best, and it's like he's ready to go. Here's a good question: what Blues player do you both of you think is due for a good game?
I would like to see Kyrou continue to do what he did, especially the way they beat him up last game, because, I'm sorry, they were headhunting him. And I believe in hitting somebody, taking a guy out of a play if he's another team scorer. But a couple of those hits were very, very borderline as to intentionally get him out of the game. And I don't like that part of the game. If you want to hit a guy and let him know you're there and hurt him to where he feels he's sore after the game and like, damn, that guy really beat me up. That's great. But that's Jordan Kyrou's livelihood. I'd love to see that young kid come out young man, come out and have another 2-goal game. I'd love to see it. Who I think has been really playing more physical than offensively is Shin. I'd like to see Shin back that off a little bit and maybe get a little more offensive. He's not played bad offensive. He's just been more focused on really showing people, his physical.
He's in the
side.
steamroll.
Yeah, he's
playing the steamroll on the third line.
Yeah.
Right? Actually on the top line. He's playing the steamroll, and which I don't have a problem with. Right? I absolutely don't have a problem. It looks like the Rangers are about to extend this. It's an empty net. It's 5-on-5 because they were on a power play. It's kind of a power play. It's a weird situation, but oh wow! I mean, they're buzzing, but I think the Rangers are going to end up staving off elimination here. For me, this is going to sound, oh wow, did they just give it up? I did not see who that was from Pittsburgh. Puck was right in front of him, and he just kind of let it roll, and it rolls right into the empty net. Right? The rain. I think it's Binnington. I think Binnington hasn't shown his best game yet. As good as he played, I think this is the game that actually I don't think we do. AJ, I do not think we do. I don't think that we need a twist or a rebound. This team is not that team anymore.
And also, right? I'm going to ask you, have you looked to see how much Ryan Reeves played in the playoffs when he was with the Golden Knights and how much he's playing with the Rangers now? Guys, those type of players may get a shift or two in a game, but guys, that part of hockey's over. The fighter is gone, and they can't afford to pay a guy $3-4 million to play 6 to 8 minutes a game. That's too much of an important roster spot. You can do it by committee. You don't have to beat somebody up to set a tone. You can play physical, get them out of their game and frustrate them. I like teams that do that much more than teams just go out and beat people up.
I look back, for me, that when we hit, we lose. When that's what we focus on, we lose. Yeah.
Yep, a lot of times. Yeah.
Because you don't have the puck. You're not controlling the puck. If you're focusing on hitting, you're going to lose because you don't have the puck. Right? Mm-hmm. You can be fit. Here's the thing. They got out hit in the last game, but they wore him down.
Real quick,
guy. They wore him down by being physical.
Ryan Reeves is so important to all you fans that want this guy that's going to beat everybody up. So important to the Rangers that he played 6 minutes in this game. Yeah. Guys, you don't want a guy taking a roster spot that's that type of player that all he can contribute to is physicalness. You can't afford to do it.
Well, AJ says I completely understand that, just stuff like what happened to Butchie. I get that. I get what you're going at, with Buchnevich and getting the puck on it. But you know what? That didn't affect, if anything, that has hurt Minnesota more than anything else, right?
And what would have happened because Spurgeon didn't get a penalty? What would have happened if somebody were to come up and knock?
He did get a penalty for that. He got penalized for that.
What would have happened if somebody would have come over and knocked Spurgeon out? Then there would have been matching penalties.
Yeah. No, he did get a penalty for that. So that was the first time someone ever got a penalty for cross-checking the foot.
Hey, I want to bring something up real quick. We're talking about how everybody's so hard on Tarasenko.
Yeah.
I have heard so many people say Ovechkin, looks very great these playoffs. Guess how many points he has? 5 points.
He's only got like 4 or 5.
5 points. Guess how many points Tarasenko has? 5 points.
5.
So, guys, enjoy Vladimir Tarasenko because although we all want him to come back, he may not. There's a chance he will, but he may not be back.
Don't go there, Lance. He's coming back. I'm telling you, he's coming back.
No, he's not.
Me and Ashley talked about this the other day, Tuesday, or the other day, I think Monday show, one of the shows, Monday show when you weren't here. We talked about this on Monday show. We think that O'Reilly will leave before Tarasenko leaves. Right?
I don't think so because Berube and Armstrong love O'Reilly a lot more than they do Tarasenko.
See there's a difference here.
I'm gonna tell you right now. If O'Reilly went to the team and talked to them, and said, hey, what's going on? I want to know why I'm being used this way. Well, if you guys don't feel I fit, maybe we should look into a trade, kind of the way that Tarasenko did it. Not like the way the media said he did it. If O'Reilly did that, they would go, no, Ryan, we want you to stay. If it comes out you're not happy at the end of the season, then we'll work something out. They didn't do that with Vladimir. I guarantee you.
I don't think that they took it the other way you're saying either. I don't think he actively shopped Tarasenko.
Oh, he most certainly did. I know that for a fact. He actively shopped him and was taking offers. That's why he said he couldn't get what he wanted. He was asking for a lot because the Islanders did offer him something, and he went back with a ridiculous offer. And I know that you think he's worth a couple first rounders and everything, but in the way the things are going today, until he proved after this season, I think he's worth a couple first rounders and some other pieces.
He's a 5-on-1 player. He's worth 5 for 1.
Yeah, but before that, until he proved he could come back after the injury, teams didn't look at him that way. Now, if Armstrong went and tried to trade him now, he'd get a lot more for him. But they were taking offers. My guy in the front office, I don't want to say what a position he has, said they were taking offers for him, and Armstrong was sticking to what he wanted for him, and he was going to get what he wanted, or he wasn't going to trade him.
But there's a difference between taking offers and actively shopping him.
They were actively shopping him. They're the ones that called the Islanders because they wanted a defenseman from the Islanders.
Right. Well, we ended up getting the best guy from the Rangers. We ended up doing better from the Rangers.
Oh my goodness, Sammy Blais for Buchnevich. That's just crazy.
Well, I mean, but that's not a negative trade to me right now, right? And the reason I say that is because Blais got hurt. Blais broke, he break his leg or tear his knee, tear a ligament in his knee.
But you know what, guy? Here's the thing: Sammy Blais not going to be Tage Thompson. Sammy Blais never going to score more than 10 to 15 goals in a year. So Buchnevich is probably, until he's pretty old, is going to at least score 20 goals a year. So to me, you get a younger guy with some energy. But we saw with Sundqvist, we saw with Blais, and we saw other guys like that. And Sobotka, you do that a long time, and your body takes a beating, and you don't last long in this league.
Would we be in the playoffs without Vladdy? Both opinions.
No.
Hell no.
No.
Not even close. He led the team in points. He led the team in goals. Right? He was the guy. And not only that, he's the guy that had the moment. You know how each season has that moment where you can trace back to this is that key defining moment in the season. Mm-hmm. Just like 19. For me, 19 was that 1-0 overtime shutout of the Lightning, the year that they were the greatest team on earth, right? Mm-hmm. That was right in the middle of that 11-game win streak. Mm-hmm. That right there was a watershed moment. That moment changed that season, right? Because we were still not coming back. We were winning some. That was like our fourth win in that, right? Third or fourth win. It might have been a third win in that streak. But it was the moment that showed that team how good they could be. And not only that, it was Vladdy that scored the goal that won the game. If I remember right, it was either Vladdy or Shin. One of the two.
I can't remember, but it was one of the two, yeah.
This season, I look back at this season and I'm trying to find that watershed moment, and I only have one. I have one moment where, to me, this season turned. And we've seen it turn positively, and we've seen the outcome of it and the results of it. I think you know what moment I'm talking about.
I got a lot of them in my head.
Well, what's your moment? What's your key moment this season?
To me, one of the key moments in this season, when I thought they really started playing well, is when they won a game that I can't remember what game it was, and it went to overtime, and they hadn't been doing well in overtime, and they won it, and I can't think of what game it was.
Oh, that was late. That was Minnesota.
No, it was another one.
Not Minnesota. It was before Minnesota. It was
Edmonton.
The Oilers.
I think it was the Oilers. Yeah,
and that was late though. That was in that 9-game winning streak.
Yeah, right? It was.
For me, it's Tarasenko standing in front of Berube, in front of 18,000 screaming fans. Between him and Thomas, and just look at him and says, we don't fucking do that. We don't do that. You're not going to do that. That moment right there, because Thomas's season, Thomas had a good season. Thomas had a breakout season after that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? What was it? 18 games, 17 games at that point?
I think it was 18. It was 18 because it was a number of his jerseys.
It was just an incredible. It was that moment. It was absolutely that moment where he stands in front of Berube, because then Berube comes at the post game and says, that's what I love about Vladdy. He's becoming a leader.
Yeah.
Because you see that when you first see that, I mean, everyone loves it, but you're thinking, oh my goodness, Berube is going to trade him tomorrow, right? It's going to be a Mike Keenan thing. Someone stood up to me, trade him. No. Keenan comes back, or Berube comes back into the playoff or into the press conference and gets asked about it, because that's what I love about Tarasenko. He's becoming a leader.
Mm-hmm.
That moment changed this team in a very positive direction. It changed this team not only for Thomas. I think it changed for Kyrou a little bit. I think it changed for the young guys, for Walker, for Brown, for Torpachenko, for McCachran, for Joshua. By the way, Joshua and Santini got sent back down to Springfield for their playoffs, which I think was a good move. I think that is the moment. It wasn't on the ice, it was on the ice, but it was that moment that adjusted everybody, and the team responded to it in an extremely positive way.
Yeah. Yeah, they did.
Herb Brooks had players yell at him. Not on the bench, he didn't. At least not that I remember.
He got it in a few times when he was coaching the Rangers with a couple of players, but it wasn't. I don't think it was to the point to where players told him, "You're not going to do that." I don't think it was that far.
Oh no, that was not going to happen against Brooks. Right? That was not going to happen against Brooks.
Nope.
I mean, look what Brooks did in Germany. Right? I mean, that was. And the thing is, a lot of people think that was Hollywooded up.
No,
it wasn't.
It wasn't.
That moment was Hollywooded down. It was worse.
Yeah, I'm shocked, especially those goalies, because he made the goalies do it too.
Oh yeah,
with all that equipment on, I'm shocked the goalies weren't puking their guts out.
Oh, they were. They were.
And another thing, people kind of look at it and go, well, why couldn't Herb Brooks do well in the NHL? Well, the reason he didn't win consistently in the NHL, you can't get away with treating guys the way he treated his Olympic team.
Yeah, because his college teams.
Yeah, it's college, right? because his college teams were they won championships with him.
Yeah.
Now, when he gets to the NHL and the Rangers,
there's a big difference where you can cut a player like that.
Yep.
And when you can't cut a player, and that's the thing in the NHL, you can't just cut a player.
Yeah, and guys on these contracts back then, they were big contracts. Guys making 450, 650,000 back then, those were big contracts.
Well, actually, I mean, most guys weren't making that. They were making in 110, 120.
Well, I remember range. When Bernie Fedorko and Brian Sutter signed their free agent contracts. They get, I think it was 84 or 83, somewhere between 83 and 85. Bernie signed for 850,000. And people that
wasn't per year. That was the length of the contract.
No, it wasn't, guy. That was per year.
Okay.
Yeah, that was per year. Trust me. But the average player made about two something back then, the lower twos. But the NHL with the collective bargaining agreement, they're not going to let a coach run guys like that after a game. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
But it worked.
Got some of it.
It worked, didn't it? Man, I miss TJ Oshie. Hitchcock used him way wrong, just way wrong. If you watch when he was here with the Blues, Hitchcock used him on the perimeter, skating around the boards and behind the net. Washington, since he's come there, they use him anywhere from 5 to 15 feet in front of the net for deflections.
Does Cap Friendly show historical salary caps?
You'd have to go back.
Historical salaries.
Well, you can look on and hold on. Let me look at it here.
I looked at Hockey Reference. It wasn't on there.
There's a site that normally will have it. All right, here we go. Okay. His salary in 89-90, because he had gotten older with the team. Let's see here. His salary in 89-90 was $350,000 a year.
Okay.
Hold on a second. No, I got to see here. Yeah. 350, 450. You know, you might be right. It may have been 250, and you can see in 84, 85, it was 2 something, and it probably was for 4 years. But that was still a lot of money back then. If somebody signed an $800,000 contract, even for 4 years,
yeah,
that was a lot
back
of
then.
money.
Contracts were in a overall. They it wasn't how much they got per year. It was how much overall they got. It wasn't their per year. So that's what I was thinking there. I can't find what I'm looking for anyways. But that's what I kind of remember back then. So where are we at here? I'm honestly just trying to stir it up. Much love, guys, but I got to go. Yeah, we're going here shortly. I'm going to go do some dash and try and make some money. No coach ever told Hull how he was going to play, and that's a first, and that's a fact. Somewhat, right? Somewhat. Sorry, met some neighbors, best kind of ones, with a dock for fishing. Oh, I like that, man. I can't wait to get home, Faki, and you can take me fishing again. Right? Well, guys, we had a great show, great fun. Love each and every one of you. Big thank you to Jason Nichols, Jeremy Karp, and Devin Dayton for joining us, for putting some thumbs up and saying thank you. This is Guy, the Y Blues fan, saying aloha mahalo. We'll see you tomorrow night for Game 6. Blues versus Wild. Aloha.